All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're on a mission to crack the trader's code. We're going to try and uncover the secrets of the world's most successful investors by looking at decades of research to figure out what really separates the legends from, well, the rest of us. So let's get into it.
So this is the big one, right? The million-dollar question every single aspiring trader wants the answer to. We're all looking for that magic formula, that one guaranteed strategy that just prints money. But does anything like that actually exist?
And this is where a guy named Jack Schwager comes in. If you've been around markets, you've probably heard of him. He's the author of the legendary Market Wizards books. And for decades, he's interviewed the absolute giants of trading. And he noticed something right off the bat. Almost every beginner is looking for this exact thing, a simple, easy-to-follow cookbook recipe for success.
So for years, Schwager basically made this his personal mission. He went out and talked to the best of the best. We're talking about people who turn tiny amounts of money into absolute fortunes, all to try and find that common thread, that one elusive recipe.
And here's the big reveal, the punchline to the whole search. After interviewing over 75 of these market wizards, his conclusion was both crystal clear and honestly a little shocking. There is no single recipe, not one. Every single one of them had phenomenal success, but they all did it in completely different and often totally contradictory ways.
Okay, so if there's no single recipe, that leads us right into busting the biggest myth in all of trading. This whole idea that you can just find a successful trader, copy-paste their strategy, and get the same results. Let's talk about why that is such a dangerous trap.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It really gets to the psychology of why copying fails. See, when you just borrow someone else's system, your conviction in it is paper thin. It's like a house of cards. You don't really get the why behind the trades, so the minute you hit a losing streak, and you will, the whole thing just comes tumbling down. But when it's your own approach, something you built from the ground up to fit your own personality, that conviction is rock solid. It's what gives you the strength to get through the tough times.
Man, this quote from Michael Marcus just hits the nail on the head. We're talking about a trader who turned $30,000 into over $80 million. He worked in the same office as another legend, Bruce Kovner, and he said that if you tried to combine his style with Kovner's, two of the best traders ever, you wouldn't get the best of both. You'd get the worst of both. You've got to find your own path.
So, if all their methods were so different, what did they all have in common? Well, Schwager found that while the strategies were all unique, every single great trader built their success on the exact same three foundational pillars.
And here they are, the three absolute non-negotiables. Number one, an obsessive focus on risk management. Number two, the confidence to think for yourself. And number three, unwavering, ironclad discipline to stick to your plan. This is the bedrock.
Let's just unpack those for a second. First, risk management. For these guys, it's not a suggestion, it's their absolute number one priority. It's what keeps you in the game long enough to actually win. Second, independent thinking. You know, they do their own homework. They are not swayed by the noise on TV or what everyone's screaming about on social media. And finally, discipline. This is the glue that holds the whole thing together. It's the ability to do what your plan says, especially when every emotion in your body is screaming at you to do the exact opposite.
So the really crucial point here is that this whole journey isn't about becoming a clone of some other great trader. It's really about self-discovery. It's about finding what works uniquely for you.
You know, Schwager shared this really fascinating story from his own experience. He said that whenever he asks readers which trader from his books they really relate to, he gets a different answer almost every single time. And that just proves how deeply personal the right path is. What clicks for you might be the exact opposite of what clicks for the next person.
And we come right back to this powerful idea from Michael Marcus. You have to follow your own light. That's the ultimate lesson from all the market wizards. The goal is not to find a guru to follow. The goal is to become your own guru.
Okay, so if you have to find your own way, how in the world do you actually do that? Well, it all comes down to mastering one critical habit that separates the pros from the amateurs, and that is the process of learning from your mistakes.
But hold on. To learn from your mistakes, you first have to define them correctly, and this is where most people get it completely wrong. So let me ask you, what do you think a real trading mistake actually is?
And this is so important. According to Schwager, a mistake is not a trade that lost money. You can follow your plan perfectly and still lose. That's just probability. That's part of the game.
A true mistake is when you violate your own system. It's when you break your own rules, because that is the only part of trading that you have 100% control over.
So here's the secret process. The best traders aren't perfect, but they are obsessed with never making the same mistake twice. As this slide says, they become students of their own errors. Many of them keep detailed trading diaries. They'll analyze every single time they broke a rule, figure out the psychological why behind it, and then they build a system to prevent it from ever happening again.
And that really brings us to the end. The real takeaway here isn't some secret strategy, but a process for finding your own. So instead of asking what the secret is, maybe the better question, the more powerful question to ask yourself, is this one right here. What's the first mistake you're going to learn from?